Hello everyone, we're in my garden this morning, or what I have left of it. So some of you may be wondering why I haven't done my garden time series this summer with, really good recipes with fresh produce. And that's because we pretty much had the worst weather we've ever had here in East Tennessee in a long time in the summer. You'll see that a lot of my garden has actually diminished. I've lost some plants, particularly my zucchini and squash. They just gave up the ghost. And I've not been the only one. A lot of the master gardeners and just a lot of people in general here have all remarked on how a lot of their plants did really poorly this year. And most of that has to do with the fact that we went into some really hot weather, one of the hottest on record for our area, with also really high humidity. And that is kind of a death knell for a lot of popular garden plants. You can see though that this perilla bush went really well, so maybe we can come up with a recipe for these leaves. But a lot of my herbs did really well this year, which made me think of a different kind of series we could do, just try to use up some of these extra herbs that I planted. And I remembered I had this little cookbook that I had bought several years ago from another library book sale, and I haven't used it yet. It's got some really interesting recipes in here that obviously all have herbs in them. So I thought it would be really fun to find a really tasty recipe and test this cookbook out. I went ahead and decided that we would try these lemon bars right here. Reason being is because for the very first time, I bought a lemon verbena plant this year, and it's done really well. So I would like to try some of that and see what that would taste like in a dessert. But before we do that, I have actually had some success with straw flowers. This year, this is the first time I ever grew them, and I am shocked at just how tall and strong they get. And there's gonna be flower buds all over this particular stalk right here. I've got some others that are up and coming, so they'll be blooming soon. But look how interesting this flower is. It really does feel like straw. Hopefully you can hear that and kind of get an idea of just like the texture of it. I've got some pink ones that are fixing to bloom. So next year I'm actually going to plant more of these since they did so well in the garden. They are native to Australia, so they're probably very used to the high heat that we got this summer. Now here in the herb garden, you can see that everything went really well this year. My chives really took off. I've got both garlic and onion chives. So next herb episode, maybe we'll have to do something with them since they're getting so crazy and there's so much of them. I've got this giant rosemary that we could cook with. This little lavender plant started doing really well. And here is the lemon verbena, which you can see got really nice and tall. So we've got plenty of leaves on this thing. I say we go ahead and pick some, and that way we can get started. Looks like we also have lots of basil that we need to do something with too. So we may have to think outside the box and do something really cool with that. Now you'll notice that this cookbook only calls for 4 leaves. I don't think that's a whole lot, but I'm assuming that this plant is pretty strong tasting. So I'm guessing 4 is all we're gonna need. So let's go ahead, and I think this one right here has the prettiest leaves. Let's go ahead and get our 4 leaves, and we will get started inside. And for any of you wanting an update on the mother of thousands, here's just some of the little babies that fell off that I restarted in this little pan. You can see they're already getting really big, so I'll have to put these in separate pots pretty soon. I had more big ones. I gave some away, and I still have all of these left, plus all the ones that are clinging to these leaves. So this really is mother of thousands. And here I've got my little greenhouse cats. They're in here quite a bit, staying clear of the weather and laying on this table, just napping their day away. All right, we're back inside, and some of this seems a little bit confusing. You can see we have two separate parts that we're going to be doing, so we're actually going to bake this twice. But as with some, older recipes, especially in some of these homemade kind of cookbooks, the directions aren't exactly clear, so we don't actually know what size pan to put all this in. I'm going to start with this and see how it goes. I think this will be enough. We'll try it out and see and keep our fingers crossed. So here we have our 4 leaves. I've also got everything else that we're going to need. Very simple, limited ingredients, so that's really nice. Now all we have to do is put it together. Is ready for the oven. This is a 9x9, so you see it was a little bit anxiety inducing there to see if I was gonna have even enough dough to do a 9x9, but I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this size. We will put this in the oven, it said for about 25 minutes, so we will check it back then, and then we will go on to our filling. I just pulled this out of the oven, so it's still really hot, but you can see the edges are very nicely browned. I think this is going to be done, so let's go ahead and get our filling together. And by the way, this has filled the house with such a wonderful lemony scent. I cannot wait to eat it. I know. Okay. You're ready. Okay. Sausage finally came out for lunch. And don't worry, he's had his lunch.
Yeah.
And it's dessert time now. So this doesn't look like what I thought it was going to turn out. But it smells good. So let's go ahead and see if it tastes good. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's really good.
That, I'm gonna put that at a 4. That is really
easily
good.
4, yeah. Yeah. It's not like super overpowering like some lemon desserts can be. You know what I mean? Like it's not like so tart it makes you want to like pucker when you first bite into it or nothing. But it's definitely like lemony.
It's the perfect amount of sweetness. And like you said, the lemon's not overpowering. This is just perfect, I think. With, we worried that just 4 lemon verbena leaves were not going to be enough. Nope.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And the crust at the bottom, it reminds me of a shortbread cookie.
Yeah.
So it's like a shortbread with this wonderful lemon custardy type texture on top. With, oh man, is it just so good.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And I think for summer it's really good too.
Yeah.
Because you've got that nice, crisp lemon taste to it. I think, if you're bringing this to something that's got like a lot of heavy dishes, like maybe some barbecue, potato salad, baked beans, that kind of thing when you're having like an outdoor event, this is the perfect dessert. That's like a nice palate cleanser.
Yeah.
After all of that.
Yeah.
So, wow. Okay. I am so pleasantly surprised at how well this turned out. This is something I would definitely make again. I've got plenty of lemon verbena, so I probably will. And as for this little cookbook that I got this from, I only paid $1 for it at the library book sale several years ago. And I am really glad I did because this is super good. I think it bodes well for the other recipes in here. And we will be pulling this back out for our next episode of Herb Time. Because, like I said, I've got so much like basil and thyme and rosemary and all this that we need to kind of, use up before the fall and winter sets in. So this is going to be really fun to explore. So thank you for watching this episode and hope you make this. If you've got some lemon verbena or lemon balm, don't forget you can substitute that also according to the cookbook. So if you have either one, you can make this really, really good summertime dessert. So thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.